Hello! Today we'll be talking about Chinchou, the first fish Pokemon and the first Pokemon to have the electric type in Gen 2, and the first of two Pokemon to have the water electric typing, as of the filming of this, with the other one being its evolution, Lantern. Chinchou's previous PYC dates are August 14th, 1996, June 5th, 1999, March 26th, 2002, January 14th, 2005, November 5th, 2007, August 26th, 2010, June 16th, 2013, April 6th, 2016, January 26th, 2019, and November 16th, 2021. Chinchou has a very unique appearance, which I oddly like. Anyway, let's get into the Bulbapedia article. Hello and welcome to the Bulbapedia section of the video. Today we'll be talking about Chinchou, the angler Pokemon whose number is 0170. This is what it looks like. Its type is water electric, and this is their first time with this, so they got the water inside and the electric outside. Abilities, Volt Absorb or Illuminate. Water Absorb is its hidden ability. Gender ratio is 50-50. Catch rate is 190 or 35.2%. Breeding is Egg Root Water 2. Hatch time 20 cycles. Its height is 1 foot 8 or 0.5 meters. Weight is 26.5 pounds or 12 kilograms. Base experience yield is 90 in Gen 2 through 4 and 66 in 5+. Leveling rate is slow. EV yield is 1 in HP. Shape is that it has no footprint since it has no feet. Pokedex color is blue and base friendship is 70. Chinchou is a dual type water/electric Pokemon introduced in Gen 2. It evolves into Lantern starting at level 27. Biology, Chinchou is a small Piscine Pokemon with a round blue body. It has large yellow eyes with pupils shaped like plus signs, a pair of semi-transparent light blue pectoral fins, and stubby feet. Positioned on Chinchou's rear, where its tail would be, are a pair of antennae that curve up and over its head. The antennae developed from fins and have yellow, teardrop-shaped orbs at the tips. Inside Chinchou's antennae are electricity-generating cells that create so much electrical power that they even make Chinchou tingle slightly. The orbs on its antennae can glow and light up from the electric current, which Chinchou uses to lure prey. It also flashes its light to communicate with others of its kind and claim territory. By discharging positive and negative electricity from the antennae, it can both defend itself and stun its prey. Chinchou lives on dark ocean floors, rarely ever coming up to the surface. However, it has demonstrated the ability to walk on land in the anime. Evolution, Chinchou evolves into Lantern, so Chinchou, Lantern. Game data, NPC appearances, Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire. Chinchou are the main bumpers on the Ruby field. Hitting a nearby button will change the formation from 3 floating in place to 3 moving around, to just 1 moving around. They will occasionally disappear and be replaced by Lotad or Whiscash. Pokedex entries. In Gen 2 and Gold, it shoots positive and negative electricity between the tips of its 2 antennae and zaps its enemies. Silver, on the dark ocean floor. Its only means of communication is its constantly flashing lights. Crystal, its antennae, which evolved from a fin, have both positive and negative charges flowing through them. For Stadium 2, if you have Pokemon Red, Silver, or Crystal inserted, you get the Gold entry, but if you have Pokemon Blue, Gold, or Yellow inserted, you get the Silver entry. In Gen 3 and Ruby, Chinchou lets loose positive and negative electrical charges from its 2 antennas to make its prey faint. This Pokemon flashes its electric lights to exchange signals with others. Sapphire, Chinchou's 2 antennas are filled with cells that generate strong electricity. This Pokemon's cells create so much electrical power it makes itself tingle slightly. Emerald, when it senses danger, it discharges positive and negative electricity from its 2 antennae. It lives in depths beyond sunlight's reach. Fire Red is the Silver entry, and Leaf Green is the Gold entry. In Gen 4 and Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, it discharges positive and negative electricity from its antenna tips to shock its foes. Heart Gold and Soul Silver, their Gold and Silver counterparts. The Gen 5 Pokedex entries are Diamond, Pearl, and Platinums. In Gen 6, X is the Silver entries and Fire Red's entry. Y is the Gold entries and Leaf Green's entry. Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are basically their Ruby and Sapphire counterparts, but Chinchou and Pokemon are their correct casing. In Gen 7 and Sun, its 2 antennae were originally fins. It discharges electricity to stun its prey before attacking. Moon, it lives in the depths beyond the reach of sunlight. It flashes lights on its antennae to communicate with others of its kind. In Ultra Sun, its 2 antennae glow softly to lure in prey, making it a useful Pokemon for night fishing. Ultra Moon, Chinchou blink their shining antennae at one another to claim their respective turf. In Gen 8, Sword is the Crystal entry. Shield is the Silver entries. Fire Red's entry. And X's entry. Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, very similar to Diamond and Pearls, but slightly different soul rated. It discharges positive and negative electricity from the tips of its antennae to shock its foes. In Gen 9, Scarlet is very similar to Moons, but slightly different soul rated. It lives in ocean depths beyond the reach of sunlight. It flashes lights on its antennae to communicate with others of its kind. Violet is very similar to the gold entries and all the other ones that were that one, but slightly different soul rated. It shoots positively and negatively charged electricity from the tips of its two antennae and stuns its opponents. I got Chinchou in the Alola Pokedex and Chinchou in the Blueberry Pokedex. It's kind of fun, you can see a few of them. It's very cute. Game locations, side game locations, and events. Held items in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. You get a yellow shard 5% of the time, and Diamond, Pearl, Platinum, Heart, Gold, Soul, Silver, Black, White, Black 2, and White 2. You get a Deep Sea Scale 5% of the time. In X, Y, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon, you get the Deep Sea Scale 5% of the time. But it's now spaced out rather than one word. Stats, base stats, HP 75, attack 38, defense 38, special attack 56, special defense 56, speed 67 for a total of 330. Pokeathlon stats, type effectiveness, damaged normally by normal, fighting, poison, rock, bug, ghost, electric, psychic, dragon, dark, and fairy. Weak to ground and grass for double, immune to nothing, resistant to flying, steel, fire, water, and ice, all for half except for steel, which is for a fourth. Notes, if this Pokemon has Volt Absorb, the effectiveness of electric type moves is 0, so it'd be 0 instead of 1. If this Pokemon has Water Absorb, the effectiveness of water type moves is 0, so it would be 0 instead of half. Learn set by leveling up. 1. Water Gun and Supersonic, 4. Electro Ball, 8. Thunder Wave, 12. Bubble Beam, 16. Confuse Ray, 20. Spark, 24. Charge, 28. Discharge, 32. Aqua Ring, 36. Flail, 40. Takedown, and 44. Hydro Pump. By TM, 1 Takedown, 4 Agility, 7 Protect, 11 Water Pulse, 16 Psybeam, 17 Confuse Ray, 22 Chilling Water, 23 Charge Beam, 25 Facade, 34 Icy Wind, 47 Endure, 48 Volt Switch, 50 Rain Dance, 70 Sleep Talk, 72 Electro Ball, 77 Waterfall, 79 Dazzling Gleam, 82 Thunder Wave, 85 Rest, 96 Eerie Impulse, 103 Substitute, 110 Liquidation, 123 Surf, 126 Thunderbolt, 128 Amnesia, 135 Ice Beam, 136 Electric Terrain, 142 Hydro Pump, 143 Blizzard, 147 Wild Charge, 166 Thunder, 171 Terra Blast, 173 Charge, 188 Scald, 196 Flip Turn, 204 Double Edge, 208 Whirlpool, 209 Muddy Water, 211 Electro Web, and 224 Curse. By breeding, this group gives you Mist, this group gives you Psybeam, this group gives you Soak, the Mirror Herb gives you Sucker Punch, and this group gives you Water Pulse. TCG only moves, Headbutt on this card, Pound on this card. Side game data, you got all this. Yep. Pokemon Ranger, Shadows of Olmia, in the browser entry. It attacks by shooting bolts of electricity. Guardian Signs, it restores the styler energy a little. Got all this. Yep. New Pokemon Snap in the Photodex entry. Chinchou's 2 antennae, which evolved from a fin, can light up the electricity running through them. It flashes those lights to communicate with others. Evolution data, Chinchou, level 27 Lantern. Sprites here, so, okay, interesting. A little bit flatter than I was expecting it to be, but generally got most of it. These are yellow fins, that's interesting. Green, and, yeah, green and sort of a lighter blue, I guess, for the shiny. This is kind of a purple for some reason. Gen 3, the fins are now blue. This is a different blue and green. Yeah, but the yellow is different, yeah. Yeah, they're very large. I wasn't expecting them to be so large, the bulbs. Because they kind of get a little bit smaller, I think. But, I don't know. This is a different blue. That's basically the same. I mean, there might be slightly different, like, sizes and stuff. And this is, like, more rounded eyes, I think. Yeah, a lot less flat in Gen 3 as well. The mouth, anything? Well, it's a black mouth and then a red mouth. That, full back sprite in Gen 5. Model's pretty good. I mean, oh, they have like white fins now. That's interesting. Yeah, a little bit weird. It'll probably look better when it's no longer just a flat image. Yeah, there's probably lighter colors all around. I think it's like a darker shade of blue, but, you know, obviously lighter whatever hue or whatever. Sword and Shield, so those are obviously better models, way better models. They seem to keep the white fins, that's interesting. And they sort of become sort of a lighter blue, kind of, I guess, here, but then these just stay the white for the shiny, that's interesting. In the anime, Chinchou in the anime, we got 3 of them. A Chinchou egg in the anime. Okay. Got all this, yep. Pokedex entries in episode 212, in Ash's Pokedex. Chinchou, the angler Pokemon, have the ability to conduct electrical currents from their 2 tentacles, which flow positive from one end and negative from the other. Chinchou can also communicate underwater by flashing its tentacles. So then got Pokemon Generations, Chinchou and Pokemon Generations down there. There's a Relicanth, couple Horsey, Huntail, I think, and Carvana. Chinchou in Pokemon Twilight Wings. In the manga, Chinchou in Pokemon Adventures. Okay, got all this. In the TCG. Trivia, although Chinchou is shown to have the ability to walk on land in the anime, in the games it can only be caught in water, and it lacks a footprint. The vowel sounds in Chinchou's English name are reverse of the vowels in its Japanese name. Chinchou and its evolution are the only electric-type Pokemon in the Water 2 egg group. So, for the first time in Gen 2, we have this box here. It says, Bulba News has an article related to this subject on the origin of species, Chinchou and Lantern. So, normally we ignore this box completely. I don't read it. I just read it because it's the first time in the generation, so... But yeah, we usually just ignore this. Origin, Chinchou appears to be based on an anglerfish, more specifically, the football fish. Name origin, Chinchou and Chonchi may be derived from Chochin, lantern, or Chochin Anko, football fish. In other languages, external links, let's move on. Now let's watch Chinchou's first scene in the anime. Before I do, though, you'll notice that I call Chinchou Chinchou in the anime and the TCG sections of this video. That's because that's how I naturally say its name. Hello and welcome to the anime portion of the video. Today, we are watching Pikachu and Pichu. In this short, Ash Ketchum, the main character, and his friends have left Pikachu, and their other Pokemon on top of a building, in sort of a little park in a building. And Pikachu has met the Pichu brothers. They were in a nearby building. They kind of teased him. One of them almost fell, but Pikachu helped him get back to safety. But in doing so, he fell and then ended up on their building through a series of wild events. And now, trying to get back to Pikachu's original building, they have fallen into this river here. This is their way of... Pichu's brother's way of doing it. And there's the Chinchou. And that's it. That is Chinchou's first scene in the anime. Let's move on. Now let's talk about the TCG. I have 1 Chinchou card. It's the 7th Chinchou card design. It's a lightning-type card, which I'm pointing out since it could fit in the water or lightning-type cards. It was illustrated by Hajime Kasujima, a former TCG illustrator known for his watercolor, ink, and digital styles. He worked on the TCG from 2002 to 2018. I really like this card. It's such a unique perspective. I love how it makes its angler look more like rabbit-like ears instead of anglers, particularly the one closest to the camera. Chinchou has 50 HP. The card doesn't have its height or weight. Chinchou has 2 moves, Thunder Wave and Razor Fin. In the video games, Thunder Wave is an electric-type move that was introduced in Gen 1. It paralyzes the target. On this card, it costs 1 of any energy. Upon a successful coin flip, the opponent's Pokemon is paralyzed. Razor Fin is not a move in the video games. On this card, it costs 1 lightning energy. It hits for 10 damage. Chinchou is weak to fighting for double damage. This seems to represent its weakness to ground, which is often represented by fighting in the TCG. It has no resistance, which is odd since it could have been resistant to metal, fire, or water, since it's resistant to steel, metal in the TCG, fire, and water in the video games. It costs 1 of any energy for Chinchou to retreat. In the bottom right corner of the card, there's a symbol that means it's from the Unseen Forces expansion of the EXE series. This card doesn't have a description or level. I don't have a Lantern card, so the next Pokemon with the card I'll be talking about is Pichu. Now let's see why people love Chinchou. Now let's look at fan art. Hello and welcome to the fan art section of the video. Nobody sent in fan art, so instead we're looking at DeviantArt fan art. For those of you familiar with the series, you might be wondering why we're on this particular image, and that's because this is the only image we'll be doing today. So this is Chinchou by Inksy Studios. So, this cute Chinchou here, it's a little bit stylized. It's very good. You can see it's glowing, it's things. The bulbs, the antennas. Yes, it's very good. Yes, and I like all the blues, and the coloring is pretty cool. Looks like it's maybe blushing a little bit, or I don't know, probably not, it's probably just the light. But it's still pretty cool. Let's move on. Thanks to everyone who submitted fan art. I won't be streaming tonight, not because I don't still have a lot to do, but because I simply don't have time tonight. Tomorrow I'll be talking about Lantern. As always, this is my proper outfit, you'll see me tomorrow.